Shake, Rattle, and Troll is brought to you by SRT Outdoors. And now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, tournament pro, the man that fears no fish, the bass daddy himself, Don McDowell, with the man who speaks to elk, John Colazar.
Okay, thank you. Good.
Thanks for clearing that up for us, Don. Appreciate
you.
that. Now, in Arizona, have we ever been able to hunt buffalo or take one a year?
We
or
can.
tags released?
There are tags that are issued, but here's what happened: they're up on House Rock, which is where they're supposed to be, and that's Game and Fish has some property up there. When they're pressured, the buffalo started moving into the north end.
A little bit smarter than we gave them credit.
Yeah, a whole lot smarter.
Yeah.
They started figuring out that if they were on this side of the line instead of that side of the line, they weren't shot at.
Okay, there you go.
So they migrated south. They went into the park, and now what they do is they just hang in the park because nobody bothers them there. It is like any rural area that you find. If you've got a wilderness area where nobody can get into, you're going to see wildlife in there.
Of course, yeah.
And when they're not pressured,
That's
boom.
Andrew. That's the same theory that he has about Holiday Inn Express.
I'm not a surgeon.
Nobody
but
bothers.
Yeah, exactly. So we're in a state of flux right now. I am very concerned for the future of hunting because with each domino that goes down
Across the board.
yeah, it's starting to happen. So.
Well, that's one reason, Andrew, we stay engaged with the Arizona Deer Association, Arizona Sportsman for Wildlife Conservation, and on and on and on. It just takes up an inordinate amount of time. And I mean, we're beating on the department on bass fisheries. These guys think it's a renewable resource. It is if you take care of it.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you don't take care of your mortality issues and proper fish care.
Drones. Yeah, talking about drones.
Here we go.
How is that going to be introduced into tournament fishing now?
It already is.
Outlawed.
It already is, but
Are there any rules, regulations?
Hey, if you're out pre-fishing, there's not a whole lot anybody can do no matter what. That's the bottom line.
So we're not going to have any regulations.
It's not going to be.
on it.
How do you regulate that?
At certain times you can operate them. I know you couldn't operate them during the tournament.
Right.
Yeah, but only pre-fish.
Where technology takes up where somebody isn't willing to use the sweat off their back to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, Google Earth has provided quite a few maps of Havasu for me and Martinez to find.
That's
How
fine. It's a
about
map of the
that?
lake. It's not telling you where the fish are that day.
And then you guys got selling that information on a card that show you all the underwater structure. It just goes on and on from there.
And it does. But that's
info
technology.
sharing, right?
And navionics and the other side of it is, I think part of it was that technology more than likely originated with underwater structure that would do damage to watercraft. Subsequently, somebody else figured out, hey, we could do this. We could figure out this.
There you go.
I would say it's very unfair for fish now with structure scan and side imaging. And
Absolutely.
If you've looked at what's currently out inside of technology, you move from your graphs to what you have either as shallow water anchors or with trolling motors that have spot lock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the fish have the chance that they had 10 years ago.
Oh, not at all. No.
We've changed the tournament angler that's invested in that, and not just invested in financially, but invested in educating themselves with their equipment, learning how to operate their equipment, because it's great to have a 12-inch graph up on your dash,
Absolutely.
but all it turns out to be is a wind block because you don't know how to use it.
Exactly.
And the guys that know how to use their electronics, I'm telling you, you follow something down in the water column, you see where the fish are, and you're like, all right, that one's coming up.
Exactly.
And sure enough, it's on and it's there.
The technology of these graphs these days are almost close to the military, because I know when I looked into sonar, I was in a submarine, so I looked into sonar, and they had similar screens like that. So you're basically using military-grade sonar to locate these fish these days. It's just ridiculous.
That's
incredible.
what we're able to get at, so you can imagine the step that the military is at
No,
now.
yeah.
See,
It's
I'm
top
not hearing
secret.
a word about fishing at this point. All this is about technology making your job easier.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks.
There's
Sorry.
a learning curve.
I don't care.
There's a learning curve.
I don't care. It's not fishing. It's tech.
Okay, that's the electronics.
I'm
side
a
of it.
purist.
Look,
Sorry.
We've gone from cane rods to fiberglass embedded sensitivities that are just amazingly sensitive. The line that has changed.
And he's overly sensitive today.
I know. It's because of all that practice in the car.
I do practice.
Yes, you do. And that dog
You know what?
howl and
No, I'll tell you what. I to the day I die, I will resist against drones to tell you where fish are or to where game is. I will resist against trail cams that tell you you're sitting in your butt at home and you're getting live feed that says, "Oh, I've got a 7x7 that comes by every night at 5:30. Gee, I wonder where I'm going to be." I mean, I see so many trail cams when I'm out there now, and it's their equipment. They paid for it. They did everything to do that.
Right.
But it's not the ethics of fair chase.
No, it's
Period.
not.
End of
There's
story.
no fun. Yeah, you don't get the hunt, the thrill.
I totally agree with that position right there. I totally agree with it.
Where do you draw the line on fishing?
Where I draw the line on fishing, live bait.
Well, personally, it's difficult to say.
You have a problem with live bait, and yet you're going to graft their butts off? You're going to drone them to death? Come on.
I want access
know.
to water that isn't readily able to see. That's where my reference was as far as for the drone. I'm not going to use a drone to run around and look for bedfish.
But see, personally, that's good and all. But for anyone else, it's like, well, $10,000 and a boat is on the line, or $50,000. I'm going to use that. So they make waypoints for all the nests during spawn, and they just go back and pull these females off like they were fishing and had the skill to do that. So I mean,
and we talk about payouts like that. The other side of it is you have to be, well, with bass junkies, there's somebody there to do the polygraph.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it's enough to turn around and kind of police ourselves when we're out on the water and protest and all the rest of the drama that goes on with that. But the integrity of the tournament comes from the tournament director and what they insist on and what the format is. And I can tell you right now, if there was an event going on and there was a drone flying around and somebody figured out who it was, they would be done and over with at that point.
Would that lead to more rules and regulations regarding that? I mean, is there a point where all the anglers are going to say, hey, you know what? We all don't like this. Can we do something about it? Do you foresee that happening possibly?
I don't.
Okay.
But I know that right now during a tournament, absolutely nobody is going to stand.
Well,
for
how
that.
do you know it's not just some family member looking at everyone's tournament? I mean, it's hard to say, like you said, you could patch feed on other phones.
Again, that's
if they figured it out, who it
if
was.
they
We
figured
offer
it
up
out.
as part of our one of the auction items we had at the banquet was the gnat shoot. And basically what you do is you bring down drones.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, I'll do that. They have
That's
I'm all
good
for
stuff.
it.
DIY
You did well.
catchers.
You did well at the banquet.
Yeah, congratulations.
Let me ask you: when you guys started, there was talk that you were going to use drones. Let's say Bartlett to police the no-fish areas. Is that still happening?
We walked the dock on another event. The drone wasn't out there, and there was not anyone that was risking breaking the rules because of the drone the first night out. It set a precedent. It absolutely set a precedent.
you got to set a standard. You got to tell people.
All right, are we going to bend? Are we going to push? Because I can tell you with Jeff and Tim, that's a contract. Those rules are with the public and how that tournament's going to go and what's going to be adhered to. There is no flexibility because that's the agreement that they've made and made sure that that's out there. So there's where your line
He
of
draws
integrity.
the
Okay,
line
thank
of
you for
live
that.
bait, but he'll techno him to death.
Oh man, this guy coming from an elk
Well, the
hunter.
question is
Coming from an elk hunter.
Oscar Mayer artificial?
Yeah. Give me a break.
It's all natural.
You're not going after Oscar Mayer.
It's not
All right.
processed.
Hey, they've changed their hot dog. Now they're all beef.
Oh wow.
You really believe that?
Yeah. Hey, stay with us. We'll be right back.